Hi everyone, Kumar Danatrain here with the Meridian Point, and today I'm very pleased to be joined by Stacey Nye, who is the president of the F.I.X Code Global and vice president of Ancient Gene Technologies. With over two decades of experience in Olympic event operations and management, Stacey now leads groundbreaking initiatives in both personal transformation and sustainable solutions. Her current work spans teaching the innovative F.I.X code technique for emotional healing to implementing circular economy solutions for compostable diapers in Samoa, which, I mean, what a breadth of experience there. Stacey's journey exemplifies how embracing disruption can lead to meaningful innovation across multiple domains. So as you know, our channel, this podcast is all about the relationship between disruption and innovation, and Stacey exemplifies that. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Stacey on the stage here, and we'll get started. Hi, Stacey. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you? Thank you so much for welcoming me into your platform. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. One of the things that's interesting is you're ahead of me time-wise, right? You're like literally on the other side of the world and far south in the world. So you're in Samoa, is that right?
I am, yeah. I just spent the last year in Samoa. We came back after Christmas and are continuing this groundbreaking project, showcasing the people that I'm working with, compostable diapers to the world, mostly to the global south, because the global south is actually getting hit the hardest with the plastic and the volume, millions and millions of diapers that are now rolling up on their shores, and they have nowhere to put them here. So the incredible people that I've chosen to work with over my entire life, actually, this person just happens to be my sister, who her and her husband, groundbreaking thinkers, innovators, definitely disruptors in the circular economy world, have asked me to play a part in the operations of building their dream of what's in their head out in real life, which is really my skill. It is a skill that I used at with the Olympic Games. It's taking the complex problems and turning them into how one person can experience the process. So even though we're going to be moving millions and millions and millions of people through the process, it brings it down to the individual's experience and how that one individual can impact the world and the decisions that they make. And by joining this project and supporting it, people from around the world can definitely support this project. It's we're literally changing the world. Diaper at a time.
Let me ask a few questions. You sort of you have a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and certainly a lot of passion for this project in particular. So tell me a little bit about just disruption in general and the role it's played in your own journey of transformation.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never. My sister absolutely identifies as a disruptor, and so does actually Daniel, who is the creator and founder of the F.I.X code technique. So I feel like I'm actually drawn to disruptors because I can see their vision. I'm passionate about what they see, and with the skill set that I have, I'm able to get it out of their heads and be able to then implement it in real time in the world. So my passion is actually supporting innovators, disruptors, people that are going to make a difference on this planet. And at this point, I'm supporting two incredible innovators and disruptors, one in the mental health and in the energetic world. So I feel like my ultimate client is humanity. The people that I get up for every day is humanity when it comes to the F.I.X code, because what Daniel has created in the technique allows us emotional freedom. It gives us, by using the technique, it gives us emotional freedom and clarity and peace. And then, hearing my sister's and her husband's dreams and ideas to implement the compostable diapers into, at first, the global south, so that we prove it out. And we're impacting and helping the people that are at the front line, that are being impacted the most with this issue of plastic diapers that are loaded with plastics and oils and hurting our environment and hurting our children and our world. So I feel like on that front of my life, my ultimate client is the planet and the oceans and everything that is in that circular economy part of it. So I feel very lucky and very grateful that I have had these opportunities in my life, and I took them. I mean, I could have let them go by. I could have not done anything about it, but that's not how I was brought up, and it's fun. Like my sister and I we have the same values. We have the same like gumption and grit and courage. And so does Daniel. So I really, again, I've aligned myself with these incredible minds that have allowed me and given me the privilege to work with them side by side and take their ideas and implement them and turn them into a live thing where people can actually move through the process. So from a mom with a baby with a diaper can move through our system, that circular economy system, to every diaper that every baby uses in our program within 8 to 12 weeks turns into high gradable dirt, which again is now we move back into talking to the farmers in Samoa. Like we're proving this out. It's pretty spectacular. And every time we open a bin and we've got this incredible dirt, even the moms in the villages are astounded.
I think there's a bit of a lag since you're on the other side of the world. I want to kind of hone in or just dive into each of these individually. First, the F.I.X code and what it does, and then the diapers and your involvement in that. Let's start with the F.I.X code. So my understanding that it aims to disrupt traditional approaches to emotional healing. So what was it that inspired this methodology, and how does it differ from conventional approaches?
Absolutely. This is a great question. So Daniel's background, he's now almost 35 years master practitioner in NLP. He's a master hypnotherapist also. So he's got decades of studying behind him. And about 20 years ago, he had an spiritual experience that removed all of his horrible feelings, fears, hesitations, heartbroken, all of these things, because he unfortunately, has groundbreaking pioneers, it always comes with everything falling apart first, right? Like that's the hero's journey. So he is no exception. And so when his world was falling apart about 20 years ago, this spiritual experience happened for him, and he was activated in this incredible way. And we've got these, our stories are beautiful, and our stories that come from a beautiful spiritual space. But the science of this is that through this experience, it was like an electromagnet. It was like a stargate, he says, was above his head, and it scanned him. And it removed all of the horrible feelings, fears, broken heart, betrayal, like all of these things that only moments before were crushing him. He didn't want to get out of bed. He didn't want to go to work, none of those things. So after this spiritual experience, he could feel none of those things. He felt joy and complete peace and calmness. And because of the training he had been acquiring over decades and decades, which this is a little bit of a fun tidbit of Daniel's story. About 35 years ago, nobody really knew who this guy was, Tony Robbins, was in Toronto, Canada for like a speaking engagement. And Daniel chose all those years ago to buy a ticket to go and see this guy called Tony Robbins, because Daniel was in sales. He owned pizzerias, he owned video stores at the time. So he was in sales. So this guy, Tony Robbins, was supposedly really good at helping salesmen be better at sales. So he bought a ticket. He said it was like $80. He went down into the city and he attended this conference or this weekend retreat with this guy called Tony Robbins. And Daniel, being Daniel, sat right at the front, was taking notes like crazy. And at the break, Tony Robbins walked over to Daniel and suggested to him that he takes something called NLP and something called hypnotherapy. So Daniel, of course, after this conference was pumped, went and signed up for these courses and started really learning all of this stuff. So it was Tony Robbins told him to go do it, and he did it. And it changed his life because go ahead.
Yeah, can you explain for the audience what NLP is? I mean, I know what it is, but it would be good for folks to know.
Sure. Yeah, so it's neuro-linguistic programming, and it's a fundamental thing. It's not. I don't know much about it. I didn't study it. That's not my background at all. That's all Daniel stuff. But what these two platforms that he studied gave him was the questions to ask after this spiritual experience, because he was very aware that this Stargate experience, this electromagnet thing that went around him and through him, nullified all of those horrible feelings. So he started to ask real scientific quantum questions. And through these questions, he was being downloaded this incredible knowledge of what these things are, what horrible feelings are, what fears are, how they work, and then how he could use what he just experienced and put together in language how to help others. And that's what he did. So for the 4 years between his spiritual experience and when I met him, he had figured out really like 99% of what today still is the F.I.X code. So, and when I met him, it didn't have a name. This was just kind of something he did, and he was doing it at trade shows. He didn't, like I said, he didn't really have a name for it. But my experience, how I came into this was in 2002. My husband and I at the time had a horrible experience, very traumatic, that ended up we lost everything. We lost each other. Like it was a pretty traumatic couple of years. And by the time I met Daniel in 2010, we had now finally separated. The traumas had just compiled on top of each other. And because of the life that I had led prior to that night of the trauma, I didn't really have skills to deal with hell. I didn't understand fear. I didn't understand the world was scary. I didn't understand, like I had not been exposed to any of that. My upbringing had been quite forward thinking, quite magical, actually. I was surrounded by brilliance and excellence my entire life. There was no bad. It was all kind of, okay, let's take that and let's build upon that. What can we learn? It was always conversation. I'd never known hell. And after that experience in 2002, hell came screaming into my life. It was scary and terrifying and debilitating and breathtaking. And I didn't know how to cope with any of it. So I kind of didn't. I just kept going and putting a smile on my face every day until I got separated in the kind of the late part of 2009. And when I met Daniel in 2010, which again, if you follow our spiritual journey, we were meant to meet, and it was a contract. We were meant to meet in 2010. We were meant to create all of this together and co-found what is now called the F.I.X Code Global, and all the training that goes with this and teaching the world how to do this, because we were meant to come together and do this together. So the F.I.X Code is all about a technique that allows us to remove those horrible feelings and fears that are stopping us from living the life that we want, from moving through ascension, from living a life of peace and evolving. And right now, this technique was designed for right now, for the masses, because the people that we've been training over the last 15 years are the pioneers with us. They are our front line, that when this happened on the planet, we had enough people that know how to do this, that are going to be able to help thousands and thousands of people really, really quickly. So we're excited about this time because we know we're ready. We have an incredible team of people that know how to do this. And we welcome the complimentary session. Please book a session. Try this. Let us showcase this technique to you so that you can either become a client and just heal self, or learn how to do this so that you can turn around and help thousands of people in your world and your client base, or start a healing business or a life coaching business, or, because it's designed for life coaches, healing practitioners, transformational healers. It's designed for those people. So it's very powerful. And it's definitely, for 15 years, I've talked about how this is from the future. And I feel like we're finally here. We're at the future. We've arrived.
That's amazing. It sounds like an amazing story. So, and it's an amazing program to help you heal your emotional trauma. And who doesn't have that, right? So we've all been through emotional trauma of some, to some degree, and some more than others. And certainly those life-changing moments, birth, death, loss, any sense of loss, whether it's financial or personal or professional or whatever, is going to cause trauma. And so most people just deal with it as you did, right? Until you met Michael and went on this journey of transformation yourself. And NLP and techniques like it, from what I understand of an NLP, it's modeling behaviors that allow you to move past your past trauma, and the idea of questions, asking the right questions in a way that isn't threatening or triggering, that will allow the client, person that you're speaking to, alter their brain synapses, sort of neurolinguistic programming, right? So it's the way your brain interprets language, and how you can, as a coach, use appropriate language to get to a certain outcome for the client's benefit. So I get that. I understand it, and it sounds like what you've done has gone beyond that to combine with other techniques to help people through their trauma. So interesting. So I will certainly we'll have in the show notes a link to your site and how you can get that free consultation with Stacey and or Michael.
His name's Daniel. Sorry, his name's Daniel.
Daniel.
His name's Daniel. Sorry. That's okay.
Yeah, I think it's because I work with a lot of Michaels, and so I don't know. Maybe that's why. Daniel.
That's okay.
You. Yeah.
Daniel.
So what does a typical session look like? And if you can give me like a 2-minute version.
Sure. Our sessions are usually about 15 minutes because that's all really we need. And again, because we have something called the magic question. And the neat part is that, and I'll ask you the magic question. I'll ask your platform this magic question. Here we go. Biggest problem you have in your life right now, when you think about it, and you don't need to tell me what all of that is, but when you think about it, how does it make you feel? If you could put it in 1 or 2 words, what would it be? So whatever that answer is, and the word floats to the top, right? Like I'm
sure.
We're connected at the unconscious level. Immediately. That's right. So I don't need to know, as a practitioner or as a life coach, I don't need to know 2 hours of your story of what you're talking about or any of that, or how mad you are, whatever it is. All I need to know is how you feel about whatever you're thinking about, because that's actually the problem. And this is what Daniel has revolutionary. This is the disruption in Daniel. Like, he's like, everybody's got it wrong. People want to talk about their problems. They want to reframe their problems. That's not the problem. The problem is how you feel about whatever you're thinking about. And you feel that way about thousands and thousands of your memories. Okay. So what this technique does is it bypasses all the crap, all the other stuff that other modalities sit you in for years. Like when Daniel started to talk to me about reframing, and I had already started the F.I.X code, like he'd already been doing the F.I.X code with me. And somebody was talking about reframing, and I said, what's reframing? I don't come from this world. And he's like, oh, it's when you spend months and months and trying to reprogram your neural pathways and this. And I'm like, why? The F.I.X code does that for you. He's like, I know, but the world hasn't caught up to us yet. So people want to spend 30 days breaking a habit or redoing something. I'm like, why? again, I'm from the future. I love this technique, and it does it all for you instantly. You don't have to do all the other legwork, right? Daniel and I joke around that a lot of the modalities are like horse and buggy, and then a bicycle was made, and then now we got a car. Oh, there's a Porsche. This technique is like a spaceship. It's like, phew, it's like teleporting. It's like you're in the future. It's all done. It's happened for you because of the way that Daniel has designed this. It is futuristic. It is so graceful and powerful and profound at the neural level. It's everything from physical to unconscious. And your unconscious mind runs everything, runs the show completely. Yeah. So any program that is defunct, or like a program would be something like hurt or betrayed or sad or angry. Okay, those are programs. When you have a thought, all of a sudden that triggers everything else. It triggers it in the physical body. It wakes this thing up. And once it's awake, you can feel it in the physical body. And now it's eating your energy. It's sucking your energy. It's draining you. Okay. Now this thing moves up into the thinking brain. We call this the grand illusion. And now you are running all the memories that are attached to that feeling, which is why you bounce around from being 4 years old to today to 4 days ago to all these stories are now in your mind. You're unconscious. Yeah. You are no longer present at all. Okay. You're bouncing between the past and the future in these storylines, but you feel the same way about every single one of them. This technique, without asking anything but the magic question, gets to the root of that problem, which is how you feel about that. Okay. Yeah. Once we do the work, it feels like a guided meditation. It takes a couple of minutes. It's non-invasive. I don't ask creepy questions. I don't need to know why or who or what anything. And when you float back into your body and return to now, you can no longer feel the connection between the feeling, because the feeling's gone, and those memories. And there's thousands of them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when you think about that, whatever that is, it is so beyond fascinating, because it's so quantum and the design of this is so elegant.
I'm definitely going to book that session.
Oh, good. Yeah. You have to experience this. It's like,
definitely.
It's like trying to say somebody.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we would bring you back on and we could do it live with me. And I don't know how effective that would be as a podcast, but it would certainly demonstrate something. I don't know what, but anyway, I wanted to.
And there's nothing to see.
Yeah, there probably isn't, because it's all internal, right? Yeah, I figured that. That was really fascinating. I definitely want to try it with you or with Daniel or one of the practitioners that you have. I want to segue now into the compostable diapers, which I think is also very fascinating for a totally different reason, of course, right? So the F.I.X code helps you get to the root of the things that hold you back. I'm assuming, whether it's personal, professional, whatever it might be, deep-rooted memories that hold you back, sort of emotional trauma, whatever it might be that holds you back, and helps you fix yourself in a way and achieve your potential. And I think that the compostable diapers, in some way, it's not the same thing, of course, but it helps people do something very, you need diapers, right? For you're raising a child, you need something to a diaper of some sort. And in our world, in our modern world, we've gotten so used to the disposable diapers that are made with plastics and so on. And it's incredibly harmful to the environment, and really not all that great for the babies either. So maybe you could tell me a little bit about how this got started. I know you said this was your sister's idea, and just give me a brief history of this journey. I'd love to hear that.
Sure. So about 23 years ago, Kim and Jason became pregnant, and they started looking into alternatives for diapers for their baby. And my sister, being my sister, was outraged at the harm and impact on the planet that the diapers in the market were doing. And she could see the future, saying this is not going to end well for the planet. And so they decided to meet with scientists that were on the brink of developing, at the time, a hybrid. So they created a company. They decided to move and start this company called G Diapers that was creating an option for parents who were conscious of the planet and really part of this movement of that each person can have an impact, a good impact, or a less of an impact, let's say it that way, a footprint on the planet. And so their company took off, it's called G Diapers, and they had created a hybrid diaper. So you could actually flush this diaper down the toilet, and it just kind of with this wand, and it dissolved and it was flushable. So how cool was that? And there was no chemicals in it. So it wasn't harming the water supply. And then as this company built and built and built, they were thriving, of course, and known all over the world. And unfortunately with COVID, one of their main ingredients that they needed in their diaper was being used in the masks. And so any product that was being used in masks were now pulled off all the shelves to be making the production of masks. So unfortunately, they found themselves in a situation where they couldn't supply. Their supply chain had completely crumbled, and it just kind of went on too long. And so they had to reinvent themselves, which, both my sister have reinvented ourselves many, many times. It's part of growth. It's part of how you keep moving in the world, especially as, she identifies as a disruptor, and I followed her to Samoa. So I totally back her play that her and her husband, who has his doctorate in circular economy. He's a brilliant man. And they're a dynamo team. They decided to go fully compostable. So designing a diaper that was completely 100% compostable. And now how do they use that concept in a circular economy system? And so they started to develop this idea. And they've done test pilots all over the world. And so we had kind of a base idea of what they saw, on what the vision that they had. And in the spring of 2023, my world was pretty good. Child was in university. What do I do with my third act? And Kim called me from Australia, because she's married to an Australian. So she's an Australian citizen. And she called me and said, would I ever think of doing this with her? And my answer was yes, let's do it. And she was kind of taken aback, going, really? I'm like, sure, let's do this. So I moved to Australia so that her and her I moved in with her 18-year-old son at the time, who was just in university, while they went to Europe and started to build the groundwork for all of this. And then my sister and I, when they got back in the October of 2023, she kind of looked at me. She said, "Do you think we should just go to Samoa and see if it's viable?" And I said, "Let's do it, because I'll know really quickly if it's viable and what I can build and what I can't." And we decided let's just do it. So we bought 2 plane tickets and came to Samoa. We knew nobody. We had no idea what was going on. Obviously, the language, like all of it. And we met such incredible people so quickly. And the reason we came to Samoa was that the 56 heads of state of government for the Commonwealth were meeting in Samoa in October of 2024. So we knew that this was an opportunity to showcase this technique, or this, sorry, I'm getting my passions mixed up here, showcase this system of delivery, collect, and compost to any head of state that was interested, or their people that were interested. We were doing a showcase here, so we did it. We came in in 2023 in December, we were here figuring out whether we could do it or not. Again, met some incredible people really quickly, like, again, total, divine intervention. And then we came back in the January and we lived here for the whole year. And we did what we said we were going to do, which was we showcased it in 2 villages, one an urban area and an urban village, and one in a rural village, so that we could see the differences and, just collect more data. So we had 100 babies in the project, and the village women designed and collaborated on how they wanted this all to work. So everything from job sharing to what they wanted to learn. Did they want to be part of the inventory system group, like the finance? Did they want to be a part of the deliver and collect, which was kind of like the sales team, like checking in on everybody every day? Or did they want to be part of the science part, which was the composting? So it was all of a sudden all of these women who had never had jobs ever. I mean, they all work very hard here, but they're not paid for what they do in the villages, which is village culture. But that this project had come to their villages and were paying them and educating them, and now they were, as individuals, were now a part of something so much bigger, because they also we taught them to do presentations, so that when people from other countries came to these projects, they were the ones delivering the project, not us. So it was them, and they're learning English. They are they're learning how to communicate just from a computer laptop, showing them what we do. And it has been so powerful and so moving to be a part of such an incredible, innovative solution it's literally the solution, as is the F.I.X code. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, this is an answer. It's not the only answer, but it works. This solves the problem. Both of my passions go to the root and solve the problem.
That's amazing. There's a lot of things you said there, especially with the second passion project of yours, which is the compostable diapers, that encompass so much. It's not just bringing a diaper to market. It's the fail fast mentality that you employed, right? So let's go to some place where we can test it in a small, sort of a small sample size, both in a rural and an urban setting. Let's figure out the logistics of it, getting diapers to people, taking the diapers away from them, sort of, how do the logistics of getting it to a compost site. And then I'm assuming the soil, what do you do with the soil, giving or providing that to farmers and things like that. Yeah. All the educational opportunities, the job opportunities that you created. It's sort of a bit of culture building, would you say?
Oh, yes. And my sister's magical at that. Yeah, she's pretty incredible at all of those things. So it really is like, between her husband's skills of that, having that doctorate of circular economy and being able to teach it and empower knowledge to so many so quickly in real time, which is, again, very few doctorates actually get to put their work to practice. And we've taken his doctorate and we're proving it. And so as he's expanding his network and his people that are stopping and listening, the exciting thing is that he's saying, my wife and my sister-in-law are there doing the work. Like, this isn't just a paper. This is real-time work. We've got real data. We've got real soil. The university is very excited. The Ministry of Agriculture is excited. The Ministry of Women is excited here. The Ministry of Environment is super excited. So we have this high-level support right down to the babies in the community who love the diapers. There's no rash. Like, all the rash is gone. And the people in hot communities, like, where we're sitting on the equator here. I'm literally sitting on the dateline. It's hot.
Yeah.
And to be in a plastic diaper with all that oil in it, these poor little bums. And so the moms are beyond excited because their babies' bums are rash free. These diapers are breathable. Yeah.
What is the cost? I mean, is it comparable to a regular diaper, a disposable diaper, or do you know yet at this point?
Yes. Yeah. Well, right now we're still in showcase, like we're still in
Yes.
project, so
Yeah.
right now when we came to Samoa, one of my sister's rule, like one of her like disciplines was this is going to be price parity, that nobody will have to pay more than they're already paying to be a part of this project. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's price parity at the lowest diaper, not the highest one, like at the
Sure.
lowest one. So
yeah.
moms
I
are thrilled.
wanted to also ask, I mean, obviously this requires a lot of changes, right, and how society operates. Sort of collecting the diapers, composting the diapers. It opens up new market niches, if you will. There's rich soil that can be used to supplement topsoil in farms and things like that. I'm sure that you're thinking about how to incorporate this on a more global scale, but with that comes challenges. Any thoughts there on what your next steps are?
Well, we're at the spot now where governments have seen it, they're excited, and now they want to ban, like the part of the coalition of this project is to ban the importation of plastic diapers. And so our governments now that are looking at that coalition saying, we're in, like, because we now have a solution. We can import these diapers, this circular economy system. Stacey and Kim are going to come to our countries, which we've said we will do, which now we are, the countries are lining up. And it's exciting because with the government support, it's now education and let's implement. So there are many countries now in the South Pacific and the Caribbean that are looking at this going, diapers is a big problem. There's other problems too, like malnutrition and all sorts of other things. But we're going to leave all that to someone else. But
well, now you have all the soil to grow quality crops, right? Which might solve some of those problems.
Exactly. And we have a lot of people that are very excited, like the universities, that are saying, oh my gosh, is this the solution we've been looking for?
I wanted to, so we're running a little short on time, so I wanted to end this episode with a couple of lightning round questions. So I'm going to ask the first one. What would you say is the most surprising outcome you've seen from implementing the F.I.X code technique?
The lives that have been saved.
The impact of the lives. Okay, awesome.
The people that didn't take their lives.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's heavy.
Oh yeah. No, that's what I. Yeah. Oh yeah, and yes, and illnesses that have been cured, like long-term illnesses that just disappear, marriages that stay together, children that healed relationships with their parents and their siblings. Like, it is helping people pass away. Like it is moving.
Yeah.
I am humbled every day in the work that I do with the F.I.X code and the people that I meet. The F.I.X code humbles me every day.
Wow, that is powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
It is.
Yeah. All right. So between Toronto, Australia, and Samoa, which location has taught you the most about adapting to change?
Oh my gosh. I you sent me this question and I thought, wow, that is so loaded, because Toronto kicked my ass in life. I lost my marriage. I lost the life that I wanted. I lost, it made me grow up. It made me get tough. It made me it hardened me in a way that I didn't want to be hardened. And then the F.I.X code came along and softened me again.
Yeah.
Australia gave me my freedom again. It gave me peace of mind. It gave me the healing I needed. It gave me the space that I needed to heal from all of what Toronto kicked my ass in over the 20 years. It gave me the beach. It gave me sunshine. It gave me vision. It gave me distance. Like I could see distance across that beach. And it healed me. It healed my heart. Yeah. And then Samoa gave me my laugh back. It gave me my passion. It lit my pilot light again for life, and how big it can be and how much fun it can be, and how much when you're with the right people and you've got the right support system and the right conversations going on around you, that anything is possible. And when you believe in something, it's not hard work anymore. But I needed all three. I couldn't have grown to this woman without Toronto. I couldn't have navigated my way through that. I call it the gauntlet because it was definitely a gauntlet. It never ended. With the grace that I did it in without the F.I.X code. So again, like the gratitude that I have for the F.I.X code, and the gratitude I have for this project that allowed me to just play again. It allowed me to play in an arena in my head that is just build, Stacey, because my sister said, you can build me anything you want. Like, here's the parameters, build me anything. And that just inspired me to build her something that she would be proud of and that could take to the world. And I knew it was going to be solid, same as the F.I.X code. I built the world, the F.I.X code, the way that I did, so that the F.I.X code could stand and withstand the test of time, and it will.
That's amazing. That's really quite an inspiration, and I hope for people that are watching the show or listening can take inspiration from this, because I mean, like to your earlier point, you've made and remade yourself many times over, and the way you described your journey from Australia to from Toronto to Australia to Samoa, and the different things that you went through, they all shape us, right? Our experiences do, and in this case, these experiences shaped you to who you are today, and quite an inspiration. All right, one last question. Complete the sentence. The key to successful innovation is?
Do it anyways. Do it anyways. No matter how crazy it sounds, no matter how many people tell you you can't, do it anyways.
I love it.
But and don't stop because there's no money. Don't stop because you think you can't do it. Don't stop because 50 people said no. Don't stop, because if both my sister and I, our lives would have been so different had we listened to the no's in our lives, which we only ever listen to the yeses. So we'll keep going until we get the yes to keep going, whether that's just in our minds. And again, the F.I.X code has allowed me to use it to eliminate any limitations I have in myself to be able to do anything. We're all here for such incredible work. And if you're still not, what are you good at? That's the first clue. What are you good at? I was always building and puzzles and figuring complex problems out down to its simplicity.
I love your answers.
Thanks.
All right. So I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed speaking with you, Stacey, and learning from you.
Thank you.
We will have in the show notes links to your contact information, links to the website, and if you want to learn more, is there information available to learn more about the compostable diapers as well? Will there be information about that?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm thinking my sister's website's up and running, and there's the website. It's thegreatergood.com. Thegreatergood.com.
You can give that. Yeah, you can give that to me, and we'll make sure it's part of the show notes. If not right now, then in the future. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here again. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. And we will see you in the next episode. Thanks again. Bye-bye.